but probably the thing that gets everybody is the first time they walk into West Baden Springs Hotel and they walk into the atrium and they look up for the first time. You could almost put an X on the floor where people are going to stop and look up, and they're either going to say wow or oh my gosh, or their jaw is just going to drop open because it is such an incredibly beautiful experience. Someone I used to work with termed the phrase, "You can almost hear the angels crying," is so beautiful when you walk into the atrium.
I say there's an imaginary line where people walk through the hotel doors and then just stop, and they look up and then their jaw drops and they just say wow, you know. And I hear a lot, I can't believe this is in Indiana, I can't believe I didn't know about this, you know, this is very European. I hear that quite a bit. People are really amazed once they step inside here. It takes you to a different time, a different place.
Lee Sinclair built the building we're currently in. The original structure burned down in 1901, and Lee Sinclair had been very successful at running the West Baden Springs Hotel.
The owner at the time decided that he didn't really want to rebuild, that he was older and wanted to retire, but his daughter, Lillian Sinclair, is the one that really convinced him to do it.
He wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to create, but he wanted to do something pretty grandiose and something that had never been done before. And he came up with this idea for a free-spanning dome, and he approached several architects, several prominent architects of the day, but none of them could guarantee him they could build this giant free-spanning dome that he wanted erected. Finally, a young architect by the name of Harrison Albright came forward and said that he could build this free-spanning dome because he was a bridge builder. One of the deals was it had to be built in less than a year.
And they built it in a year, and they wanted to make it completely fireproof. In 1902, with no heavy machinery, no big, cranes or anything, and you look at the structure today, it really is an amazing feat.
Even to the time that they got ready to open the resort, a lot of people didn't believe that it was structurally sound. So when they unveiled it, Harrison Albright actually was standing on top of the dome to show how structurally sound it was. And the dome itself did prove to be very structurally sound, because as time went on, of course, this resort in 1929, actually when the stock market crashed, emptied overnight.
This hotel especially drew the nation's elite. It drew the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, those types of people. So when the stock market crashed, everyone pretty much abandoned.
But the stock market crashed, the hotel emptied overnight. It actually closed for business officially 2 years later.
They pretty much were ready to sell. Sold it to the Jesuits for $1, if you can imagine, and they ran it as a seminary for 30 years. And then it switched hands again and it became a private college, and then it was abandoned in the 80s and pretty much became into a state of disrepair. One of the exterior walls had began to crumble, and people were afraid that we were losing this really national treasure.
And it was at that point that Bill Cook and Historic Landmarks of Indiana got together and said, we've got to save this building. This building is remarkable. It was called the Eighth Wonder of the World. It would be Indiana losing a treasure if we didn't do something.
You just had a sense, of almost sadness because of what it could be and yet what it was.
When the license got awarded for the casino here in French Lick, Mr. Cook made the determination that he was going to purchase the West Baden Springs Hotel. He cared that much about it. He was going to personally bring it back to life and have it be the crown jewel for this wonderful resort.
The finishings, the furnishings, all of those things, the hand-painted murals, gold leafing, all those really artistic touches. Somebody could have come in and did a restoration and put new carpet, new paint, fixed a few things. But this was really a top to bottom restoration and a meticulous one.
This restoration involved tremendous amounts of research into what the original finishes were.
Still remember that first day when we had guests, you know, and I just cried because I never imagined that it would be this beautiful and that it would be a functioning hotel again and that people would be able to experience it.
You know, there are many beautiful things to see around here, from the formal gardens to, you know, just the horses running and the stables, to all the fine artsmen and craftsmanship that's gone in. Of course, it's definitely a place to go to get rid of the hectic day-to-day life and just truly relax and reflect and refresh yourself. You have a beautiful indoor and outdoor pool complex here at West Baden Springs Hotel, also a world-class spa and fitness facility. I also know that for those that have come down and experienced it, it really is something they can treasure forever, and memories that they will carry on with them, and they will continue to come back because it is just such a beautiful, remarkable place. But the main thing I consistently hear and over again is, I never knew. And we need people to get out and share the message of what this beautiful resort has to offer, because too many people don't know.